We carry it within ourselves, beyond what the fleshed eye can see, past the limits of sensory reality. Worlds cradled within the folds of our individuality, spiraling far above the scope of eternity. These are the layers of the great entities. They move as one unified manifestation of truth. We call it the pluriverse. 72 unique layers divided among 4 primordial quadrants. Matter under the Okorsur known as Barbelo. The axioms of these realms forge solid ground: rock, ice, bone. Beings here project their existence through the bubbling depths of intricate neural foundations. Quantum laws govern a reality blooming as entangled certainties. Life under Arceus. Beyond matter, consciousness unfurls. Biology becomes a field of evolving vessels. Worlds blossom into cosmic architectures where life raises its eyes to the stars, questioning the expanse, daring to dream the unknown. Thought under Logos. While mortals perceive in 3 or 4 dimensions, Logos realms picture their existence in 12. Matter vanishes like mist at dawn. Life fades into myth. Only thought remains, omniscient, shaping cities, beings, civilizations woven from pure reflection. Certainty sharpens itself until it approaches the edge of perception. Void under its eponymous Okorsur. Realms of absolute negation. Inhabitants, hollows, breathe blankness. Thought dissolves within remains of lost echoes, and yet through blankness, quantum birth stirs anew. Matter returns with Sophron's 72 domains. But if existence were that simple, wars would not rage across the layers. Selfish gods and dreaming titans would not manipulate truth. Some will seek conquest, others annihilation. The Okorsurs and the great entities who guard each realm are drawn into the collision. This chaos spills over to the dreamers. Some moguls of Gaia bought their ticket to the void, rising into the stars. Billions watched, some with awe, some with rage, most in silence. They were sleepers, heirs to brainless empires. But the true road to other worlds exists by itself, and it lies within you. As you read this novel in the comfort of your true reality, you will find a door, and the pluriverse will open itself in your backyard.
The young student woke up in the middle of the night. They knew that a fragment of their master's favorite poet shone from under their pillow. Should they read it or fall back asleep? Looking outside their window, they saw the wonders of Athens, at a time when electricity only happened within a thinker's brain. Nature cohabited with the most important city of that era. The wind played with the curtains, teasing an empty street to the haunted student who dreamed of Sophron. Their dusty house would make them sick, but the papyrus under their pillow comforted them. They drew the lion from its claw. The young trainee went straight to the master's teaching. Soon after, the first glance of sunlight confirmed that sleep would have to wait. Plato stood in the middle of the Parthenon, pausing for a few chosen ones to join him in the sharing of great mysteries. With his greyish hair revealing ages he keeps within his wisdom, Plato smiled more than the statues depicting him. The student held on to their fragment of a poem, reading it again and trying to find the words that would convince their mentor that they had completed their homework.
What did Sophron mean by that?
Plato will ask them. The idealist teenager kept silent.
It's something to do with cooking, I think,
the pupil uttered.
Cumin is a spice and ladle you don't scrape with it.
Plato would keep his emotions to himself, reading the students' understanding of their homework through their eyes. Timid and a bit shameful, the apprentice viewed the 6 others, boys, girls, and some devoid of any knowable gender. The pupil observed their entourage, and they tried to interpret the puzzled look in those eyes.
How can we draw an animal from its claw?
They would ask Plato.
How can you scrape a spoon and slice cumin?
The teacher would reply. The growing child pondered for a moment.
You don't,
They answered. The student thought and added,
The lion eats to survive, but the artist will draw the beast for his own prosperity. Ladles give us nutrients, but they don't slice spices, so…
Plato laughed to himself.
Perhaps you try too hard to provide a sense. Sophron's rhetoric never conveyed anything too deep or too philosophical.
The fellow grew more interested in the lesson. They wondered if Plato would elect this as a good time to display his master of ancient magical arts. Legend has it that the great mysteries formed a circle of powerful mystics. They understood reality beyond the fabric of our worldly illusion. The word among this elitist bubble involves enlightened minds who could create vast universes and project them into existence using this very miraculous craft.
Teacher,
The young ones surprised themselves, asking,
when will we be tutored about the art of mancing?
Plato paused for a long moment and explained,
You already know everything you need to master this form. If your time comes, I will provide you with the tools. Just let the story exist within you, and don't impose your will onto your characters.
He smiled and invited his 7 disciples to follow him in a cave at the other end of the Parthenon. The light grew dim as they advanced inside this recluse area. A long corridor brought them across what seemed like the center of the globe. The young student could feel a warm, almost membranous thread forming around them, as though they gradually stepped within a vaporous spiderweb. As they walked farther inside the tunnel, a blue gleam of feeble glow emerged at the extremity. The shadow of their 6 classmates drew themselves. Plato's silhouette led them towards that spark. While their eyes grew accustomed to this lack of clarity, they could see the walls built out of pure metal. It appeared the whole place was carved within a huge block of shiny iron. When the group arrived at the opposite end of the corridor, they witnessed the presence of a floating orb the size of a melon. It emitted enough light to expose the entirety of a gigantic room, devoid of any art or furniture. The crystal ball shone solo in this huge chamber. In a solemn manner, Plato stood across from his pupils on the other side of this magical sphere. When the teenage student brought their eyes upon it, they perceived thousands of images entwined onto one another.
A good mancer will acknowledge that each and every pixel that form those floating paintings inside the orb produces its own sovereign universe.
He seized the object and offered it to the inquisitive young one, who requested to see this marvel.
Take it,
Plato instructed, before adding,
and now you will tell us a story.
The student grabbed it. Thousands of millions of existences instantly filled them. It felt like a shock that struck their conscience. They thought for a moment and uttered,
I sense the presence of a tale. It involves gods and their reflections. It begins in a city that some will call Montreal. Yet for me, it sings the last whispers of Thebes. In it, I warn you, a wise man will step into the eternal void on his own accord. Pain, you see, that agent of destruction, calls him.
But he did?
asked Plato.
Yes, and he died.
Frightened, the student left the spherule alone and walked away from it.
I could feel the reality of a boy around my age. This novel displays a different existence of mine?
Plato caressed the orb as though trying to quiet a passionate cat and agreed.
This explains why I believe you are ready. Sophron isn't just the name of a beloved poet, you see. It is how we call the one true reality. Now, give your story another trial. We are listening.
Fear made them question their desire to pet the lion again. Still, the student approached the sphere. They closed their eyes and put a hand on top of it. At the center of the crystal, a few words appeared. We are pixels of illumination and darkness on a blank canvas that knows of no good or evil. The student opened their eyes and looked deep inside Plato's orb. They saw buildings made of metal and concrete, stone and swords, they thought. What are pixels? How can they illuminate and remain obfuscated? They tried to get attention from their teacher, but they realized that the assignment implicated floating images in the middle of a crystal ball. Why would they involve a wasp and an owl? Why is the student feeling compelled to express pride and prejudice? Focus on the tale that inhabits you, they thought, and don't hate what you fail to comprehend. Ancient wisdom will always try to survive the vileness of greedy avenues. No joy remains in greatness, none outside those who stood before us. Only peace finds itself in improvement when we experience prestige like none of us has witnessed.
Don't let words repeat themselves,
the teacher said, then added,
Pay attention to the usage of your verbs to be and to have. A true calling implies self-abandonment.
The student pondered for a longer moment and whispered,
I think the main character is an ignorant prick